I want to welcome you to this video. This video is going to be about scammers, spammers, and outcasts. My name is Charles, and I want to welcome you to the God Principles, and this is my co-host.
I'm William.
We want to welcome you to this version, scammers, spammers, and outcasts of the God Principles. I want to read you all something first because you need to understand the context of what we're about to go into. It says in Corinthians, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revelers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God. Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the things which is good, that he may have to give to him that needeth. And the other verse that I want to bring them to, it says, revenge is mine, saith the Lord. I will repay. Your turn, William.
Yeah, one of the verses that I try to actually live by, and even more so here in the Philippines, is whatsoever you sow, that shall you reap. Interpret it, if you want to put it in layman's terms, what goes around comes around. That's the one that I try to live by, because the way you do, folks, it's coming back. Whether it's good or whether it's bad.
Yep. The first topic, William, is how you been doing, man? You was sick the other day.
Yeah. I had some health issues. That was another story to talk about for another day. But I ended up going to the doctors, found a good doctor, and long story short, all is well. It turned out to be some acid reflux situation, and everything's good now.
Glad to hear that. The scammers part. I was sitting at the snack bar the other day, and this young man came to me. He said, Charles, I don't have no food in the house, and I'm trying to find someone that I could borrow $3,000 for, and I'm waiting for so-and-so. He contacted someone. And I'm listening to this story, and then he turned around and he said, well, I guess he's not coming. Do you know somebody I can borrow 3,000 pesos from? I ain't got no food in the house, and I can pay it back Monday. Now I'm looking at this dude, right? He been befriending me since I've been here for a little bit, and it's all over the internet. Do not lend Filipinos money because they don't pay it back. This is the scamming techniques, and that's what we're going to cover in this first part of this video. What you got on that, William?
Well, it is. You know, it's unfortunate. Most people, we won't say all because it's never all, but most of the people that you'll come in contact in the Philippines don't make very much money. They make just enough to survive everyday life. So as Charles was saying, you can't lend money because even if they had the intention to pay you back, they really don't have the finances to break their budget to pay you back. And then also there's something else, and we'll just say this. When we're talking about long distance relationships, I wanted to talk about that as opposed to scammers. I'm married to a Filipino woman, and she has a daughter, which is my daughter by marriage. The daughter's 5 years old. And what I'm learning is that from young, I was watching my daughter by marriage, how she got candy from one of the little boys out in the street just by blinking her eyes and flickering her hair, and she was able to manipulate him into giving her his candy. And so, you know, Filipinos know how to turn on the charm like nobody else. I'll tell you this story, and the story was my wife told me. My wife is from Mindanao. She said one of her neighbors, and this is a true story, her job, she has about 2 laptops. Her job every day is to get on to the computer and find guys to get involved with in long distance relationships, which she has no intention of meeting them. Notice I said that, no intention of meeting. This woman makes enough money to have 2 brand new cars. She lives a high-class lifestyle.
Damn.
She's married and her husband's in on it. This is true, guys. And all she does is talk to these guys all day long. She reels them in until she gets them to the point where they're actively sending money. Enough money where she does this for a living. And whenever it gets to the point where they look like they're ready to think about coming to the Philippines, she ghosts them. She drops them. She disappears from that internet spot or that internet profile. So be careful out there, guys. There are professional scammers here. Professional that are good at what they do. And if you talk to them long enough, they will get your trust and your money.
William, it's so ironic because you cross the bridge, that's into to spammers. That's on the spammer side and the scammer side. It's an extensive network. I'm gonna tell you guys something. I was starting to talk to this young lady here in the complex, and we were fixing to go off on a trip. Look, I took her shopping and bought some clothes for her for the trip, right? And she took her so-called boss with her, and next thing I know, they didn't put some extra clothes in there for her and her boss, and I'd only been there for the girl. And she didn't want to come tell me. So when I suspected it, but then a few days later they came back, somebody else came back and was telling me because the girl didn't want to know, didn't want to tell me. I said I suspected it, but then they started to do other stuff. It's like they said, well, can this girl go with us to this event? And I said, no, you know, they can't pay for themselves. I'm telling you how extensive this is. It's like this. I was wondering about this. When I first came in here last year, I stayed at Sundance Residency, and first time here, I come out and there's a person out there asking for some change. I'm new. I give it to them, right? Don't think nothing of it. When I come out the next day, it's 10 of them standing out there. They done slept out there. They say, it's just like Fantasy Island. You see them, the plane land, and them women in the skirts come running out saying, the plane. It's like that one that I gave it to that said, we got a sucker. I'm serious. That's what's going on here, and I really don't fucking like it. That's why I read that thing. It's like, wait a minute, I didn't come here to be part of this here system. I mean, they're sending men out of here in spiritual body bags broken because they're dealing with this here bullshit. Really? Look, guys, look. I didn't come here to sleep with them. When we talked about this.
Right.
The fucking medical issues.
Yeah.
I looked that up. STDs, HIVs. There was a 30% increase in HIV in the gay population. That's the men. It's a lot of them. But they don't really have an accurate number, and they would say this, of the women because it's such a stigma about getting tested. I didn't come here to sleep with these women like that. I didn't do that in America. This is an AIDS environment. But anyway.
Let me go. And we'll put a disclaimer on this, guys, because remember this. Every Filipino woman and every Filipino man is not out to get you. There's a lot of good Filipino women over here, I'm married to one, that are exactly what they portray themselves to be. And this is the problem, that as anywhere, some mess it up for all. And so the thing is, and Charles and I talked about this, there's a big percentage of beautiful Filipino women over here. The bigger percentage are very attractive. The problem when you come here, guys, and I'm talking to the guys, is not finding an attractive woman. That's not the problem. The problem is finding a woman that got as much character as beauty.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah, morals and values. Because if you're looking at my Facebook page, you're going to see some of the most attractive women you've ever seen in your life. Because one of the guys, he hangs out in the red light district here in Cebu, and he's down there taking pictures. These women are drop dead gorgeous. I'm saying, we talk about 10, we need a new measurement.
They could win any beauty
15,
contest.
15.
They could win any beauty contest that you put them in. That's a fact.
Yep. But let's go more into the spammers aspect, because you have a spamming story and so do I. Who's gonna go first?
Yeah, you go ahead, Charles.
All right. I got introduced to this Filipino environment through a Facebook page called Black Kings and Asian Queens, right? It was run by a friend of the family. His name was Derek Alongapo. He's still out there, but he's deceased. He died of COVID, all right? But he was married to a Filipina, and it's a bad story because he took her back to the United States, and when he got sick, she left him. She left him. Okay? But anyway, I'm talking about the spammers. I met one of the administrators on there who was a teacher, a friend of Derek's. And this was back during one of those typhoons or whatever. And so there were women contacting me needing financial help. They would videoing me showing how bad it was. And so I was like, wow, I don't want to be taken advantage of. But the administrator, I said, check this out, is this real? She said it was real, so I sent her the woman $10. She sent a video of the stuff she bought for her kids and everything. I was cool. But here's the thing. The administrator introduced me to her sister, and got me into buying her a phone, and I sent her a few dollars for groceries, and then the second time that I didn't spend money for groceries, she ghosted me. And that was her sister.
Yeah.
I said, damn, how that? I thought, who's protecting who here? You go ahead, William.
But, you know, guys, the art of the scam for the scammer is to find what your appetite is. They find what it is you're looking for, and they provide it. If the Filipina understands that you want to see her dance around naked, you want her to pull clothes off, she'll do that. If she figures out that you're a person that's heartstrings are tugged on by sad stories, she'll do that. A lot of times they're smart enough to know not to come right out and ask for money. What they'll do is set up scenarios where you can play the hero. And a lot of older American men, we're wired to play the hero. We want to be the hero. And so they set up the situations with sickness, somebody's sick, this one's sick, that one's in the hospital, this just happened. Now watch this. Sometimes the scenarios are true because there is a lot of poverty over here. But most times it's half-truths. And they set up the scenario where you just give a little bit. And this is the thing, guys. They figure if you're in for a dime, you're in for $1. Ow. And so the bottom line, I've known guys that end up giving thousands of dollars. It started out as a cell phone. It started as help my aunt get out the hospital. And end up before they knew it, they had sent thousands of dollars to somebody they'd never met in person and never had no intentions on meeting them in person. So be careful, guys, especially you guys that are in these long distance relationships. Remember this simple rule. If you've never met somebody in person, don't send money. Doesn't matter how sad the story, guys.
Yeah. Because as I read that Bible verse, it's just like in the States. There's a segment of society, because we're going to go into the outcast part, right? Where even they're outcast amongst their own society.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, they don't give money to them. They said it's a bad idea, even amongst themselves. I gave top money to a little boy in the mall, and I got a lot of bad looks from Filipinos, and I didn't understand it. Now I do, because they'll send them children after you. You know, and they know you're going to give to them.
Sure.
Now, in that particular case, I saw them with a 50-pound bag of rice, so I was cool with it, you know. But I've been learning more and more and more, and so now, because see, I'm gonna tell you something. I was in officer training to be a Green Beret. Okay, I spent 2 years, right, and we were trained to go in and mix with the locals, become their friends, because we're going to teach them to fight and stuff like that, but to understand how they operate. I've been there long enough, I understand how they operate. I didn't come here for that. I didn't come here to volunteer to be nobody's victim. I didn't. See, you say I'm not trying to be no damn hero.
Right.
I'm not. That wasn't my feeling. I'm just a nice guy. That's it.
Right.
I will help somebody in America just as soon as I help somebody here. I ain't trying to save nobody. But what I've seen right now is they cause their own poverty. And they're playing on sympathy. And I understand that I'm not supposed to be coming there and act on my sympathy and put myself in that position to try to fix it. That's not my role. I can feel for you, but I ain't supposed to try to help you.
I agree. I think that you have to really examine your motives. And I always say this to anyone coming to the Philippines. What's your motive for becoming involved with a woman on the internet? What's your motive for then, if you decide that you want to come visit the Philippines or you want to come try to retire and become an expat in the Philippines, you check out your own motives. Make sure that you're okay with yourself, that you're not looking for something to fill a void that doesn't need to be filled with that. Because the bottom line is, in the US, some of the things that guys are doing and giving online, they would never do with an American woman. They would never do in the US with somebody they never met. But yet, when somebody beautiful gets in the camera and tells them a problem here, they want to be the rescue. So the bottom is, you have to bring the same common sense to the table in the Philippines. I'm married. I've been married to a Filipina now for about 6 months. I've been in a relationship with her for 4 years. And the bottom line is, we're equal partners. It's a marriage just like it was a marriage anywhere else. She brings certain things to the table. I bring certain things to the table. But I didn't get into the marriage to be Superman. I got into marriage because I wanted an equal partner, and that's what I got. And guys, just make sure your motives, because that's the one thing that the scammers, they take advantage of. They find out what it is you're lacking, and they provide that for a price.
Yeah, or if they see you a nice guy, like they say, they gonna spread the word.
Yeah.
They gonna spread the word, because one of the expats told me, he said, one of the white guys up there, he said, once you get them one of them, they gonna keep coming back. They warned me. And I thought, well, this doesn't seem too bad. Let me do it once. No, I ain't giving them nothing now. Now I'm pissed. I am totally pissed. But wait.
Yeah.
We're gonna close it off with this.
Okay.
We went to the bar the other night.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the bar girl.
Yeah.
There was one in there. I saw her and I looked at her and she smiled and I said, William, I gotta get out of here. She was that fine. I was like, I was ready. The one I was talking to, I said, no, let me forget that one. I want this one, It was like, oh Lord, the bar girls, Lord have mercy.
Guys, it's we were there at a meeting, guys. we went there for a meeting. It just happened to be these beautiful women in every resto bar that you're going to go to, sports bar you can call them in the US. Yeah. They're going to be beautiful women there.
Big looters.
And they were here, guys. But when Charles was looking at that one, she was a looker. Woo! I was like, you ready to go? Because he knew. Hey, I ain't bring no money.
I'm sitting there with a pocket full. It's like, oh no, get me out of here.
You ready to catch this tricycle back? Yeah, it's like that here, guys. It really is. There's beauty around. There's somebody more beautiful than the beautiful one you've seen around every corner.
If you ever seen a 10, throw that number out. Get a new measuring system. You're gonna need it. But anyway, I want to close it with this. The spiritual principles that I try to live by is my protection and his protection. Realize that what happens to these people, a lot of it is their own doing by the behavior that they've been taught and they live by. I'm not here to save them. But last, there are some Filipinos, and I want to thank you all because you watched this far, that are coming out on YouTube talking about the behaviors in the Philippines amongst their own people that they don't even like. Now that they got out of it, they're able to see it from the outside. I actually saw a woman She's living in America, married to an American, and she was crying about the poverty that she come out of. And she was grateful that she could work now and send some money back, but her husband said, you have been conditioned, you have been groomed to do that.
Yeah.
And that's not a good thing.
No.
That's not a good thing. You got some closing thoughts for me?
The Filipino men and the Filipino women, they don't like scammers themselves because it gives them a bad name.
Yep.
Remember that, guys?
Yep.
They don't appreciate it themselves, and they will warn you if you'll listen.
Yep. So my name is Charles.
And I'm William.
I want to thank you for watching. Keep coming back.